I just want to thank everyone for coming today, and I'm excited. First off, we're going to have some chants, and Ashley, where's Ashley at? Right there. She's going to be leading them, and then we will have some speakers.
All right, so our speakers for today are going to be Michael, Lee, Colleen, Winnie. I don't know if I said that right. Sorry. Guiney. Got you. Emma Pinsky. Got it. All right. Senator Kearney. Carney. Sorry.
We're working on that.
Echo. And Nahida. And me and Emeral, of course, are going to end it off. Okay.
And then after the chants, we're going to march around the courthouse with all our signs, and we're going to do more chants there. And then after that, we'll have closing remarks, and we're going to have people here to help you guys get registered to vote.
Yeah, we're going to get ready and get started. Ashley, you want to come up?
All right, y'all ready for this? Post row? Hell no! Post row?
Hell no!
Post row?
Hell no!
Post row?
Hell no!
Post row?
Hell no!
Post row?
Hell no!
What do we want? Reproductive rights. When do we want them?
Now!
What do we want?
Reproductive rights!
When do we want them?
Now!
What do we want?
Reproductive rights!
When do we want them?
Now!
Like, show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like!
Gay, straight, black, white, all unite for abortion rights.
Gay, straight, black, white, all unite for abortion rights! Gay, straight, black, white, all unite for abortion rights!
Our bodies,
Our choice!
our bodies.
Our choice!
Woo! Give yourselves a round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming out today. I am so proud to see this huge turnout because I'm pissed off and you guys are too. They took, or they're trying to take our reproductive justice rights away, and we just can't have that. We can't stand for it anymore.
Signs up, come on in.
This is just the start of our anger, rallying. This is where we start now with rallying. Then we go and vote this November to ensure that abortion stay legal in Pennsylvania. And then we fight to ensure that we'll restore abortion rights across the nation. It starts right here with all of you here, from Gen Z, millennials, boomers, and the silent generation. Who else is here? We have voter registration right here at the table to get people registered, because right now the power lies with Gen Zers. You guys have the power to ensure that we have our rights. From abortion rights, they're going to try to take away that, and then it's going to start with voting rights and LGBTQ rights, and then to a point that we're not going to have any more rights at all. So we get angry now, we fight, we vote in November, and we just keep the momentum going. And then after we flip the House, the Senate, all over the government to get Democrats in, I don't care what party they're from, we don't take compromises on human rights. If anyone wants to compromise on human rights, get them out, snatch them out of their seats. Yeah. We're not tolerating this. Yeah. If you want not just voting, run for office. Talk to me, talk to the party, whoever you want, run for office, mobilize now. And just want you to know that we have power right here, right now.
Yeah. Woo! Who's got the power? We have power!
I just want to say thank you to Paris and Emeral for pulling everybody together. And I want to say thank you to every person who's here today, because your voice matters. And we are here because we understand that this is a pivotal time in our nation. There are a lot of folks that grew up having their entire lives thinking that things were moving in the right direction, and they were busy doing other things. And now more and more people are finding out that their rights are being taken away. The latest change obviously has been the Dobbs decision, but this decision is something that has been in the plan and in the works for a long time. And I'm hoping and praying that this decision wakes up not just everybody standing right here, but everybody, all of your neighbors, all of your friends, I almost always wear some kind of a button when I'm out. When I'm at the grocery store, when I'm at the bank, I don't have a dog, but if I was walking the dog, I would do that too. And the idea is that that pin just says vote on it. Or maybe I have another pin. Maybe you have a pin about something that matters to you. But I can't tell you how many times when I get to the register at a shop, or when I'm in the library, or when I'm in a place, and I see somebody who looks a little bit downtrodden, and I say to them, "Hi, how are you feeling today?" And they look at me, because they're not used to that. They're just used to bing, 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 and here's your bag, thank you. And they say, "Well, I'm hanging in there." And I try to do what I can to connect with them, just for a minute, to say, yeah, times are tough. Because I'm an old lady, okay? Like, I remember back in the 1960s when people were chanting against the Vietnam War, and when there was a movement to try to change the country. And then we slid into the Reagan years in complacency. I know for some of y'all that's ancient history. But the bottom line is, when the people rise up, because things are outrageous, change can happen, but we have to keep it going. We have to keep on trying. So, for those little gray-haired people like me in the room, thank you for still being here. For everyone without gray hair, I'm going to tell you this. This day and these events are very, very important, but they're part of a process. And the process is part of welcoming those people in. So if they're in the grocery store, when you're walking the dog, or anyone else, when you connect with that person, if they seem at all sympathetic and human, I say to them, you know, there are people trying to take away your right to vote. I hope you're voting this November. And some of them go, yeah. And some of them go, really? And that's your moment. That's your in. That's when you get to say, you know, look it up. Here's a reference. But definitely, the next time you come back to that store, that person's going to remember you. And you're wanting to plant seeds of justice, seeds of truth, seeds of hope with people, and say to them, I'm voting. I hope you vote too, because your voting rights are on the line. And why am I saying that first? Because the only way we are going to overturn Dobbs, does anyone know how we're going to overturn Dobbs? Put your hand up. Anybody here have a plan? Ashley has a plan, but here's what it is. We have to take back the United States Senate, okay? Pennsylvania has the most flippable Senate seat in the United States of America. People in Utah and people in Nebraska and people in Florida are giving money to John Fetterman, okay? Because he is running to protect your reproductive health rights and your voting rights. And he has gone on record that he is going to break the filibuster so the United States Senate can pass the bill that just went through the House of Representatives to put into law that you have reproductive health rights as the law of the land. That's the plan, okay? So anything you can do to make sure that the Senate flips is going to then solve the problem. Now, in the long run, we got to change the Supreme Court, but that's a much longer term issue. But for right now, in the United States, that's the way to do it. How about in Pennsylvania? Do y'all have a plan for Pennsylvania?
Yeah. SB 956.
Well, there you go. Now, I just was today with a gentleman who took a pen out of his pocket, nice big Sharpie pen, and he said to me and to the group there that the State House and the State Senate in Pennsylvania are controlled by Republicans. And every year, for the last 15 years, they've been putting forth bills that most people were like, oh, that's ridiculous, that's never going to happen. All these bills about having to bury fetal remains, bills about limiting women's right to choose, bills limiting your health care, tearing down the education system, limiting your right to vote. All those bills were passed by the House, and the Republican House and the Republican Senate in Pennsylvania. And guess what happened to them? There was a pen involved. There was a veto, okay? Right now, we have a governor that vetoes that kind of stuff. Right. Now, the choice this fall is going to be between a guy with a pen named Josh Shapiro, who's going to veto that stuff, and somebody else you might have heard of called Mastriano. Now, you might hear this again, but sometimes repetition is good. Do you know what his first legislative priority is? And if you're speaker, you're not allowed to say that loud because I know y'all know that. Do you know what his first legislative priority is? To criminalize abortion, not just make it hard to get. He wants to throw women in jail and doctors in jail. That's his first priority. Then get rid of our voting rights. Then make sure everybody is a religious bigot, okay? So, I hope the news didn't hear me say that. Anyway, so what I'm trying to tell you is the stakes are very high for people in Pennsylvania. So, if you know how to make sure that you're registered to vote, where's that guy with the gray shirt on again? Right there on his phone, he's talking to somebody important, right there. He can help you register to vote if you're not registered to vote. And if you are registered to vote, then you can get involved in any campaign you want to. Today and this weekend, there are more than 1,000 shifts of volunteers knocking on neighbors' doors to talk to them about this issue. So I am thrilled that you're here. And I can see there's a fire in your belly, and some of you aren't even 18 yet, if I'm not mistaken. And you can't vote. But yeah, that little baby can't vote. But you can all talk to your neighbors. So the grocery store is fine, the bank line is fine, but the best way to find out who to talk to is to knock on the door of someone who's ready to hear from you. And there's a way to do that. So this guy in the gray shirt can tell you more about it. Michael can tell you more about it. But I just want you to know that you matter. I'm grateful that you're here. I'm grateful for the work that you do, because you are the face of hope for this nation. Not just for abortion rights and women's reproductive health care, but for the future of our nation. There's a lot at stake this year, and I thank you so much for all the work that you do and will do, and just keep up the faith, guys, okay? Woo! Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hi everyone. So, we all know why we're here. About a month ago, a little over a month ago, Roe v. Wade was overturned, and currently, as of now, there are 52 million people in the U.S. who live in a state where abortion is outright banned. There are another 60 million people currently living in states where abortions are extremely restricted, and there are a bunch of other states, including Pennsylvania, that are trying to outright ban or restrict abortion further. Now, boom, yeah, thank you. This alone would be a dire situation, but it gets worse. The people in power are directly attacking our right to bodily autonomy. And we need to fight for our fundamental right to own our bodies, because if we don't own our bodies, we don't own anything. Woo! Right. Yes. Yeah, if they could take away our right to decide whether or not we want to be pregnant, they're not going to stop there, and there's no right that's safe. Now, I'm not saying all this to make us feel upset or angry, although we should all be very, very angry. I'm saying this because we need to recognize the scale of this attack in order to fight back. This is a widespread, violent attack on our fundamental rights, and our response needs to be proportional. Rallies like these are amazing and important, and thank you guys all for coming here today. Voting is super important. Everyone get registered, get out there, vote, tell your friends, tell your family. Donating is important. If you want to donate, Rise Up for Abortion Rights, we'll have a cup going around to your local abortion fund, to abortion funds in state where it's illegal. All great. But these alone are not enough. They're essential, but they're not enough.
Yeah, that's right.
Just voting, just showing up to these rallies, just donating are all great, but they're an underreaction. This is a violent attack on our bodies, and we need to push back. Our goal is legal abortion nationwide now, and we are not going to settle for anything less. Yeah, so what do? We need to look to history, we need to look here and abroad and ask ourselves, how have people won their rights? How have they won them back? Was it by asking nicely?
No!
Was it by appealing to the people in power, to their moral conscience?
No!
Hell no. A blue wave is crucial, but we need a green wave now. We need widespread disruptive action. We need to be impossible to ignore, or else they're going to keep ignoring us.
That's right. Yeah. Woo! Yeah.
So I want us all to commit to keep being angry, to keep showing up, and to see this thing through, to get done what needs to get done. So this last thing, I'd like to end on a thought from Mary M. Kaba. She's an abolitionist organizer and educator, who said that hope is a discipline. A lifelong commitment to social justice cannot be fueled by anger alone. We need to have hope for a better future to keep going. We need to do the hard work of realizing what that better future is going to look like, and we need to fight like hell to make it happen. Thank you.
Nahida. I'm here from the Party for Socialism and Liberation, and we all know why we're here today. Because our rights are being taken away. Our fundamental rights to bodily autonomy and reproductive rights are being taken away. But there's one thing I want to make clear. They were never really set in stone in the first place. Our rights to reproductive health, to same-sex marriage, Roe v. Wade, Griswold versus Connecticut, Lawrence v. Texas, Obergefell versus Hodges, they've always been at risk. Why? Because the Supreme Court is an undemocratic institution.
That's right.
We do not vote for the Supreme Court. We have 9 people with the ability to make life-changing decisions that we did not elect. 9 people who are chosen by the ruling class to protect the ruling class. 9 people who get to keep their jobs for the rest of their lives. They don't care about us. And as young people, many of us are questioning why people decades older than us get to decide what we can or can't do with our bodies. And the only answer to this is that we are living in an undemocratic system.
That's right.
A system where party lines mean nothing. The rich protect themselves while continuing to suppress us, the working class. They claim that they are saving the lives of children, yet they do nothing to help us, to help children with unfair educational opportunities, children left out on the street homeless, children with no food.
They only care about when we're pregnant. Shame.
That's right, they only care about what they can and can't do with our bodies. They care about controlling us. So how do we fight back? How do we take back our rights under an undemocratic capitalist system? Beyond voting, we have to build solidarity. We have to take care of each other. We have to fight together. President Obama, years ago, promised to push to officially legalize abortion during his term, when both the Senate and House were both blue. But look where we are now. Yes, continue to vote, but we need to build systems of power outside of the ones we currently have.
That's right. Yes.
We need to organize. We need to fight for a better world, and we need to fight for socialism. We need to fight for each other. When it comes down to it, they don't take care of us, we take care of us.
That's right.
If you'd like to get more information from the PSL, we have sign-up sheets going around and we have literature passing out as well. Keep organizing to legalize abortion. When women's rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that.
When women's rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that.
What do we do?
Stand up like that.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
Angry.
Me too. Yeah, I'm fucking pissed. Pardon my language, but like, I'm pissed. This is not okay. Like Nahida said, we've got 9 unelected people making decisions for the majority of people when we didn't elect them. That is an undemocratic entity within an undemocratic system. And we need to fight back against that. I'm sorry, y'all. Give me a second to collect my thoughts here.
Take your time.
It is important that we vote. I want to encourage everybody here, if you're not registered, vote. We need to vote in every election. The local ones are the most important. We need to vote in every election. But it can't stop there. We have to organize every day. Like others have said, we need to organize in networks of solidarity that take care of us when the capitalist system leaves us behind. Because they don't care about families, they don't care about working mothers. If they did, they would be funding education, they would be funding healthcare. They would not be spending billions of dollars in overseas wars while people in America starve, while children in America starve. It's sick. Is that what democracy looks like to you? When the majority of people support abortion rights and the Supreme Court is allowed to deny them? Is that democracy?
No. Fuck that.
So what do? We stand up and we fight back, but how do we do that? We organize, but we can't just organize for Democrats, because I'm sorry, but like that's still a capitalist system. That is still a white supremacist, capitalist, patriarchal system that suppresses the rights of the working class people in favor of the ruling class, rich people. And we're not gonna take it. We're gonna fight back, and we're going to take this nation back for the workers. The workers are the ones that make the world run. The workers are the ones that should run the world. Again, if you'd like to get involved with a revolutionary socialist organization that is fighting to build power structures outside that racist, patriarchal, capitalist system, visit the table over here, give us your email, give us your phone number, take our information and sign up and join us as we fight every single day in our communities, not just at rallies, not just at the ballot box, but every single day, out knocking on doors, asking what our neighbors need, asking how we can help them get by in this oppressive system, building community gardens, distributing groceries to our neighbors, educating ourselves on working class history and women's rights and revolutionary movements throughout the world so that we can take this back for the working class, for the women, for the queers, for all of us. So please don't let it end here. But be here, be angry, and use that anger, and use it every day. Don't let it go. Don't let them get away with this. We're not going to. So join us in the fight, please. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So I'm one of those guys. I'm an old, cisgendered, male, white guy. Part of the patriarchy, I guess, is the best way to put it. So the fight that we're in Harrisburg is at times bizarre. Can't believe some of the stuff that we deal with on a regular basis. And the thing is, we're in the middle of it there, in terms of, Doug Mastriano. His desk was next to mine on the Senate floor for about a year. And I tell you that that was difficult at times, but he's a scary mother. That's, we do have a system, and the system, we can still work both outside the system and inside the system. But the main thing, I think, if we really want to get moving on this issue, we have to change the dynamic in Harrisburg. We have to get rid of the Republican majority in the Senate and the House. And it's, if we do that, then we can actually pass legislation. So for example, in the last 2-year session that we're just about to end up now, less than 5% of the bills that were passed were sponsored by Democrats. Even though there's almost 50, we have close to 50% of the Senate. And we certainly have a majority of Democrats in the Commonwealth. So we need to actually get out and vote. Voting is insanely important. And electing Josh Shapiro should be one of our first priorities, because if we don't get Josh Shapiro elected and somehow Mastriano wins this, then it's going to be, I just can't begin to think about what our everyday lives. You think we're moving backwards now. Just wait to see what happens at that point. So I'm always pleased to be here. I love it when young people put together these rallies and do this kind of work. The Delco Resist ladies are some of my favorite ladies in Delco. And I started by saying I'm an old white guy. I'm an old white guy, but I understand the issue, and I understand the fight against literally the patriarchy, because us old white guys, we started most of the wars. We've done, supposedly we now understand better than you do how women should take care of their bodies. It's an interesting place to be, and it's. I don't mean to make it sound melodramatic, but at times it gets very difficult. So it's rallies like this, when you come out and you understand what people in the street are really talking about and what really matters to folks, then that emboldens you and allows you to keep fighting the fight against bad, terrible odds that we have right now in Harrisburg. But the contingent that we have from Delaware County now is united on this. We are working hard on playing defense all the time. But if we can change the dynamic, if we can get more people, if we can get Kathy Spar elected, that will certainly help us in the House, and we need to keep working on it. So I want to thank you all for coming out today, for braving the heat, and thank you to you organizers for making this work.
Thank you guys for coming. I'm just going to give a trigger warning. It's going to get a little gruesome, so if you need to step away at any point, please feel free to do that. All right. The American dream. The dream immigrants come to chase and American citizens often say is within reach, but often their arms fall too short to catch it. The whole phenomenon of the American dream gets passed down from generation to generation. Every 8 seconds, a precious baby is born. Now you're probably wondering what American dream I'm speaking of. However, by definition, it's the belief that anyone, regardless of where they were born or what class they were born into, can attain their own version of success in a society in which upward mobility is possible for everyone. I believe for most people like myself, the American dream represents equality, justice, and democracy for the nation. I believe for others, it means the very thing they make us repeat every single day in school. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I believe for some, it simply just means living comfortably. But now I ask myself, what is the American dream currently? What is the American dream without liberty? What is the American dream without equality? Most importantly, what is the American dream without justice for all? Now close your eyes for a second and simply imagine this was your young daughter, your wife, your mother, or even your sister. All right. The sun rises, creating a bright glare over the clouds, while the morning birds begin chirping loudly, while they soar throughout the blue sky. The rays of the sun shine through your sweet little girl's bedroom. She wakes up excited to conquer the day in her princess bed, surrounded by her fluorescent, glittery pink walls and the furry teddy bear she loves to snuggle with. She jumps up from the warmth of her soft, luscious covers, then scurries off to use her new electric toothpaste that plays her favorite Justin Bieber song while she brushes her teeth for 2 minutes. She's ecstatic. She darts down the brown wooden steps, pitter patter, each one creaking after the other. Ooh, Mama cooked her favorite for breakfast. Fluffy buttermilk funfetti pancakes with fresh strawberries and warm butter with maple syrup oozing from the top. After breakfast, she is just one more step closer to reaching her favorite part of her Saturday routine. From the time she rests her little eyes until the time she widens them, she dreams about skipping over to her friend Molly's house for a play date. Bam! 12 o'clock hit, and here she was, shimmying into her favorite Elsa dress with the new pink light-up Skechers her parents just bought her. Okay, now she is ready to walk out the door. Wait! She almost forgot her favorite Barbie, so she can play in Molly's huge new Barbie dream house. Once again, she races down the stairs, but this time, when she reached the bottom of the steps, her papa was waiting for her. He held her little hands and gracefully walked her over to Molly's house. A few hours went by and she was ready to go home, but Molly's family was all in the backyard, so she decided to just walk over to her house, all by herself. As she stepped down the cement steps, one after the other, a red van halted at the beginning of the street. As she drew closer to the sidewalk, the van slowly rolled in, perfect timing for their vehicle to conclude right in front of her. A man rolled down his window, staring at her. He then lit his cigarette after he chucked his lighter out the window. He grinned and politely asked, "Honey, do you mind grabbing my lighter for me?" As her soft, gentle hands grabbed the lighter, his large, rough hands grabbed her, pulling her into the van. She let out a scream. Ah! He drifted around the corner, parking his van in an unknown spot. The back of the van had no windows. He goes through the black curtain that separates the front of the van from the back of the van. He slowly removes each piece of her princess dress while she squirms and cries in despair. She's naked, crawled up in a ball, rocking back and forth, afraid of what's to happen next. He unbuckles his belt and pins her down while climbing on top of her, taking a piece of her innocence away. Stroke by stroke, she cries, she screams, she shakes in terror. This man destroyed her tight virgin little womb in a matter of minutes. This 10-year-old baby girl embodied a lifetime in trauma in a matter of minutes. Worst of all, this 10-year-old Barbie-playing little girl became pregnant in a matter of minutes. Fast forward, 6 weeks went by. a plethora of sleepless nights, throwing up, and severe mental and physical pain, she goes back to the doctors to make sure they did not miss anything in her rape kit. She pees in a little cup. Here it was, the thing she never wanted at this age. Just shy over 6 weeks pregnant. Now America, are we really gonna sit here and tell this sweet baby girl she has to go through 3 trimesters of pregnancy, push out this baby, and then look at the very thing every day that deprived her of a normal childhood, that deprived her of ever playing with Barbies the same again, that deprived her of losing her virginity the way she wanted to? Are we really gonna say that to this child who already endured so much pain? Well, I'm here to tell you, the answer is yes. Yes, we are America. We are the America who forces a raped child to have the child. And the sad reality of it all is this story was true for a 10-year-old girl in Ohio. It's insane how it takes only a matter of seconds or minutes for a child to be taken advantage of, questioned their whole life. But then in just 6 weeks, they're supposed to know they're pregnant in order to receive abortion. Wow. Wow. This sounds more like an American nightmare to me. Thank you.
Hello, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Emeral Neloms. So I was laying in bed one day posting on my Instagram story about Roe v. Wade being overturned. And I just didn't feel right. I didn't want to just keep posting on social media. I didn't want to repost on my story. I didn't want to make a post. For those of you who know me, I use my social media as an outlet to speak about issues I feel is needed to be talked about. So I wanted to do something to really try and make a change. I wanted my voice to be heard and to be more clear this time. Don't get me wrong, I believe posting on social media and using your voice on social media is awesome. I just felt I've always done that, so I really wanted to have my voice be heard. I was sick of being behind a screen. I thought it was time to really step up and fight back for what I believed in. At first I had my doubts. I was really scared to do this rally. I was scared to fail. I was scared no one would come. But I talked to my parents and they simply reminded me that I'm able to conquer anything I put my mind to. And that was the motivation I needed. I needed to hear that. I called Paris up later after talking with my parents. I told her the idea, and of course she was all on board. After talking to Paris, literally in 1 hour after on the phone with her, we were in my bedroom working on this and getting stuff together. And now look where we are. So for some of you who don't know, I just graduated from Ridley High School. I'm 18 years old. I shouldn't have to be out here fighting for basic human rights in 2022, but I am. I am out here advocating and speaking out on this, and I'm so glad to see you all here speaking out and fighting for what's right. I wish things were different, I really do, but they're not. We are in 2022 speaking out, having a rally for reproductive rights and for basic human rights. Do we have an issue there? Do we see an issue there? Yes, I see an issue. It's 2022, not 1955. Why the hell are we going back in time? This world is all about having power over people and who has the most money. This world doesn't care about people, it doesn't care about equality, it doesn't care about human rights, or it doesn't care about babies. We hear people say they are pro-life, but let me explain to you what pro-life means to me. It means protecting LGBTQ+. It means protecting elementary students. It means protecting Asian people. It means protecting Caucasian people. And it means protecting African Americans. It means protecting everyone, not just protecting some groups of people, but for protecting everyone on this earth. I think of fighting and advocating for lives already on this earth. It confuses me, the quote-unquote pro-life party, how they will advocate and fight for a fetus that isn't even on this earth yet. To go so far, to even put bans on reproductive rights, to put a lock on my uterus, but refuses to fight for the people who are on this earth now, and to fight for the people dying every day from gun violence, from healthcare, and many more terrible issues. If you claim to care about life, then that means you are showing up for the lives who are often put at the margins of society. Roe v. Wade being overturned is only making this world unsafe. We will see a return to the times of unsafe, life-threatening, and unsanitary procedures that would put the well-being of a pregnant woman and their families at risk, not only physically but mentally also. The court's unfair attack on abortion rights raises questions about the future of other legal guarantees, including same-sex marriage, access to contraceptions, and even interracial marriage. These guarantees are based on concepts of individual rights of the sort of the court majority has now disregarded. In practice, the court, it is unlikely to roll back all of them. Roe v. Wade being overturned isn't just affecting reproductive rights, it could affect all these things. Being a young female in 2022, it scares me to see how life is becoming. It just seems that there's always something us Americans are fighting for in this world. There seems to be more division than peace and more hatred than love. We look at all these issues. Let me give you an example. First, it was gun violence, then reproductive rights, then Black Lives Matter, then LGBTQ plus fighting for their rights, then Stop Asian Hate, and then police brutalities. It's always something. We are labeling all these things as different issues, but when in reality, we need to realize all these issues are all together, and all these issues have to do with basic human rights. As a young person, I stand by my generation as we fight for a safer future. In my generation, we don't play around. We will not take no for an answer, and we will rise up and speak if needed. I have a lot of respect for my generation. We never give up. We're strong, we're dedicated, and we're fighters.
That's right.
A safe future means working together and not giving up. We can't just stand up and fight when it's only convenient for our own selves. We need to fight for all, we need to fight for everyone. And that's why this November, we need to really let our voices be heard by voting. Voting is so important. As of now, Pennsylvania women have the right to choose in Pennsylvania. That can either stay the same or change by our votes. Candidate on the Democrat side party, Josh Shapiro, says that he will support and defend Pennsylvania's abortion laws. Doug Mastriano, sorry if I said that wrong, Republican side.
Saying it out loud at all. Saying it wrong.
He has made it very clear that outlawing abortion is the #1 priority. He doesn't care if it's incest, he doesn't care if it's rape, he won't care about any of that. He will ban abortion. His views are dangerous and too extreme for Pennsylvania. So this November, use your voice and vote for Josh Shapiro so reproductive rights will be protected. Now everyone here, you all have a voice and everyone's voice matters. And the power is within you to use your voice and speak up. Thank you.
Democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Our bodies, our choice. Our bodies, our choice. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. The patriarchy has got to go. Ho, ho. The patriarchy has got to go. Ho, ho. The patriarchy has got to go. Not the church, not the state. People must decide our fate. Not the church, not the state. People must decide our fate. I said, show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. My choice. My choice. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. The patriarchy has got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. The patriarchy has got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. The patriarchy has got to go. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. My choice. My choice. My choice. Gay, straight, black, white. All unite for abortion rights. Gay, straight, black, white. All unite for abortion rights. Gay, straight, black, white. All unite for abortion rights. Gay, straight, black, white. All unite for abortion rights. If we don't get it, shut it down. 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 What do we want? Abortion rights. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Abortion rights. When do we want it? Now. We cannot stop here. We have to keep fighting. We have to fight every day until we overthrow this unjust system and replace it with one that works for all of us, not the ruling rich class.
Me and Emeral are kind of just going to do closing remarks. Personally, I know Emeral will too, but I just want to thank everyone for coming. It really means a lot to have such support. Like she said in her speech, when we came to do this, a normal person is going to be scared. This is something like scary. You don't know if people are going to show up. You don't want to be humiliated. You buy all this stuff, do all these things, and you're like, no one's here. So I'm going to first commend us for being brave, for doing what we know is right. And then I want to commend everyone who came here to support us today, from our moms, my grandmoms, my uncle, my whole family, our dads, our friends,
and everyone else who joined us. Thank you. And a lot of people who donated, I want to say thank you to that. It was very nice and we appreciate it a lot.
So yeah, thank you. I hope this was what you guys thought it would be. Me and Emeral were recently just talking about dreams, and we were just saying, like, we had a dream that this was going to be great, and I really think it was. Like, it was everything I could imagine more.